Today we start in our week of July 14th, 2024, lesson 2. God is faithful. Our background passage, Psalms 71, verses 12 through 21. Our printed passage is Psalm 71, verse 12 through 21. Our key verse, I will hope continually and will praise you and yet more and more. Psalm 71, verse 14. This week we're in the book of Psalms, and as you know, Psalms is like a book of poetry. But in the Gospel of Matthew and Luke, it's a window to the prayer life of Jesus. Everybody prays, even Jesus did. And if you go back looking right before his crucifixion, he went to the Garden of Gethsemane several times to pray and told his disciples they're supposed to still watch. But, just like anybody else, even then Jesus prayed that was there any other way that God could find that he wouldn't have to die, because he was dying for people that didn't care about nothing. They didn't care about God. They didn't care about him. They didn't care about living right. But he was willing to give up his life for somebody else like that. But even then, he prayed to find another way. But he also said at the end, let thy will be done. Most of us don't never say that. Some people said that, you heard the preacher say, I want this, I need this right now. Like you telling God what to do and when to do it. But God takes his time. And sometimes if you got little children, you go in the store, they want something right now. You see, go in the store, see someone cutting a fit. They want to holler and scream and cry. Dad, don't do this, don't do that. Now, if we'd have done that when we were little, pow, I bet you'll be quiet now. But that's the way people are with God. They think just because you ask for something, you're supposed to get it right then. God said if you ask, you shall receive. But yet, you got to praise him and do his will. And if we go through today's lesson, it's all about talking about David. David thought he had the best man in the world, the king. But he went to sit down and eat with the king one day. He saw what the king was saying and what he was doing. So it's just like you go sit down, Ray invite you to his house. You go in there, sit down and stuff. After a while, Ray start acting funny, saying certain things. You don't know whether to get up and run or just get up and have to do something before you leave. But that's the way David felt. He thought the rug, his best friend pulled the rug out from under him and had left him. But all the time, it's someone, might not be Ray, somebody else sitting somewhere else. They say they don't like what you got or what you're doing. They're jealous. But it's not because they don't like it. It's because you got it and they don't. And a lot of them go to ask God, why can they get so much and I can't get nothing? And I hear a lot of young people especially, you go around and look at these people dealing drugs and stuff. Don't work, nice homes, nice cars. How can they get by and doing stuff like that? And you go to church every day and do what you're supposed to do, and you can't get free money like that. But you look around, finally one day, they get caught. And they lose everything they had, and there they are with nothing, didn't work, no Social Security, nothing but jail time facing. So we have to keep an eye on what God says to us and follow him. And like this is a cry for continual assistance and relief. Whenever you go through something, all the time, Lord help me, I need this. What am I gonna do? But when everything's good, you riding in your caddies, your Benz and stuff, ain't no problem in the world. But yet you gotta give praise to God. And if you give praise to God, like you said, if you knock, the door be open, whatever you ask for, it'll be given to you. But you got to be sincere. If I go ask Donnie for $1,000, maybe 50 years from now, if Donnie trusts me within 50 years, he might give me $10. But if you don't trust nobody and you can't be dependent on nobody like that, ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. God is the only one that's gonna be faithful, but you must be faithful to God.
Tyrone.
Yes, sir.
Could I add too? During the good times, you got to call on him, and you got to call him on him during the bad times.
Right.
The bad times is what you learn from. That's your lesson.
Yep. What you go through, how you got through it, that's your testimony. It's just like start with, it's a test. Show them where your faithfulness is, what you believe in. And it ain't always that you got to sit there and call on when things are good. All you got to do is say thank you. Just a simple word of praise. Thank you. Any more comments? we're going to get in just first outline. We're getting at verse 12. O God, be not far from me. O my God, make haste for my help. On the New Standard Version, O God, do not be far from me. O my God, make haste and help me. So you start off with, all they're doing is asking for help. You know, just like some people say, you just go to the gas station, somebody's sitting there, I need money for this, I need money for food, I need some money for gas. You don't know what they need, what the situation is. Some people give them something, and some won't. But when you do, that's coming from your heart. If it ain't, there's no need giving them anything, and then go back and talk about them. But whatever they do with that money after you give it to them or whatever, that's on them. They can go to the drug dealer and get drugs. They can go to the ABC store and get something to drink. But it's on them after you give it from your heart. See, they have to answer to God after that. Number 13, let them be confounded and consumed that are adversaries to my soul. Let them be recovered with reproach and dishonor that seek my hurt. On the right-hand side, it says, let my accusers be put to shame and consumed. Let those who seek to hurt me be covered with scorn and disgrace. Have you ever sat there and let somebody do something to you, take something from you, hurt your feelings? When you went back and prayed about it, thought about it, did you ask God to bless them? Or did you ask God to do something to them? Now you just think about it. Everybody ain't no mustard seed can do anything. But you know good and well, if somebody come up there and slap you upside the head, you're not going to sit there and tell the Lord to bless them. You know, the Bible says we can get angry, but it all depends on what you do when you get angry. So, you know, even when somebody do that, like they said about politics, ain't the politics. Man almost got an earshot off, but yet he jumps up pumping the fist in the air. Now, was he praising the Lord, or was he thinking about something what's going to happen to the person that did it to him? You never know what was going through his head. So there are all kinds of situations we might go through. Any questions or comments? Number 14, but I will hope continually and will yet praise thee more and more. And the same thing on the right-hand side, but I will hope continually and will praise you yet more and more. No matter what you're going through, you got to keep praising God. What's it, when praises go up, blessings will come down. It might not be the first blessing that you ask for, but it's guaranteed it's going to be something that you need, even if you didn't see you needed it. 15, my mouth shall show forth my righteousness and the salvation all the day, for I know not the numbers thereof. On the right-hand side, it says, my mouth will tell of your righteousness acts and the deeds of salvation all day long, though their number is past my knowledge. He's done blessed and did things for you so many times you can't even remember them all. Might didn't appear me in the mind when it happened. Probably didn't even know it was happening. You know, you could have been going down the road, and as soon as you get somewhere, you went up on a big wreck. Traffic might be stopped up about a half a mile. Now, if something had slowed you up down the road, that half a mile in between there, it could have been you. But for some reason, you got held up. You don't know why. Somebody in that accident might have got killed. And then on the other side, you could have went through. I know some people that had some wrecks right down 117 between him and Wallace. They just met this man going that same way. They were going to Wallace, he would come towards Rosefield. As soon as they met him, not even a mile down the road, had a head-on collision and got killed. Now, who knows? They could have been a little bit slower. They could have been the one in the accident. 16, I will go in the strength of the Lord God. I will make mention of the righteousness, even of thine own. 16, on the right-hand side, it says, I will come praising the mighty deeds of the Lord God. I will praise your righteousness and yours alone. Now, like I said, anything that you do, no matter what you're going through, bad times or good times, you still got to give thanks to God. Because you didn't have to be here and have it as good as you do. You can look around a lot of places. You can walk down the street somewhere and see people handicapped or whatever. Some of them know where to stay. And then some of the places you look where they stay at, you wouldn't want to stay there. A lot of people couldn't stay there. So it's good to know where all your help comes from and know that you can't sit there and not say nothing. Even sometimes you walk around the church and people been knowing all your life. A lot of times they won't even speak to you. You can look one Sunday, like Stephanie might come in all grumpy. Ain't gonna dare to do with you today. Next Sunday she come in, oh, she want to hug you and kiss you all friendly and smile and stuff. What's wrong with that girl? Well, you know, one day, ain't no telling what she left home. She might have got a phone call between home and church. But the next Sunday, she woke up with a beaming eye. God done hit her and woke her up and she ready to go. You never know what a person's going through. So you got to treat other people as you would want to be treated. If not, I said, what goes around comes around. Whether you get it back here on earth, a lot of people think they're not going to suffer or get anything done to them until God comes back. But yet, right here on earth, you will suffer for all the wrong you're doing. Just like your parents need to beat you up, God can spank you too, in a whole lot of ways. Death, health, anything. Bills, house, cars, everything you got could be gone. It could burn up one day, or who knows.
In a second.
Brother knows. He had something good on in his house. Upstairs looking around, thought it was a sound system. I said, buddy, that was the Lord knocking on your wall telling you to get out. And just lucky they couldn't sit down and eat that Father's Day. They had nowhere for them to sit down. They had to go back home. If they hadn't, the house would have been gone. So God works in mysterious ways.
My electrical panel caught on.
And even when he got it fixed, he had to pay to get it fixed. But the insurance going to give it back to him. But still, right then and there, if he didn't have a way to get it fixed, he'd have been suffering. How does this mean? In all ways, you must give thanks, no matter what. Any comments or questions? Okay, our second outline, a praise of God's righteousness and salvation. Verses 17 through 18 in Psalm 71. O God, thou hast taught me from my youth, and hither have I declared my wondrous works, thy wondrous works. On the right-hand side it says, O God, from my youth you have taught me, and I still proclaim your wondrous deeds. You know, even from a child. Most of our parents brought us to Sunday school, brought us to church. Even though a lot of times we were playing in church, went up down the aisle somewhere doing something we had no business. And your daddy sitting over here and daddy sitting over here. Come here, boy. They call us to get us straight. It might last that Sunday. Next Sunday, we right back in the back doing the same thing just about. But one thing about it, they kept us in church. Even when we got old enough to go our own way, we might didn't come to church for a while. But sooner or later, you still right back. Look where you sitting at now. So whatever good thoughts or good teaching that is instilled of us, we will see it again. It might take something to go back and sit down. You looking at something, you in trouble or you in the hospital. So, Mom and Daddy did tell me that. But it took my own expectations, my own actions to see what they were talking. You couldn't hear it, but once you saw it and felt it, you realized it was happening.
That's why we're in church today, because they planted a seed. But
Yeah.
they did. They planted a seed.
And it's just like anything. I mean, what to say, seeing is believing. Like I said, Jimmy said he used to go out in the yard and play and didn't have what Miss Emma said done. But at no time she got home, they better have it done. See, now God gives you the same chance. The Bible tells us what we need to do and how to do it. And it's up to us to do it. He don't force us. Now, if we don't do it, when time comes, when he comes back to take his up to heaven, somebody ain't going. But it'd be our own fault because we didn't listen and do what the word tells us to do. And a lot of people that try to change things, I don't care if it's on your job, the supervisor give you something to do. You don't do it, most times you the supervisor going to get in an argument. And a lot of times you going home. And you ain't got no money to buy no, go to McDonald's to buy no Big Mac or nothing. And then you sitting there looking hungry. But yet you do what God say you do. Like I said, there's a whole lot of ways you can handle situations. But most of the ones you got to keep God in your heart, and mostly on your mind. Because that mind will go just like that. You got to be sitting there all smiling. Next minute somebody say something, you ready to turn the head off. But you have to look at it and think about it before you do it. Verse 18. Now also when I'm old and gray-headed, O God, forsake me not, until I have showed the strength unto this generation, and thy power to every one that is to come. On the right hand side, so even to old age and gray hairs, O God, do not forsake me, until I proclaim your might to all the generations to come, your power. Now, only very few in here ain't got no gray. So you've been blessed. They say that white hair, that gray, is wisdom. I've seen some people with nothing but white hair. I don't know what kind of wisdom they've got, but I sure don't want none of it. Leave my cousin alone. He all right. If you didn't shave it, it would probably pop up gray. I mean, it's got somewhere to pop up. Some people you say it's worry, a lot of them say it's wisdom. But see, we don't know. You know what we go through. We could blame it on worry, but then again, you worry because that's you. You got to learn how to take stuff in and let it go. It's a hard job. You might sit there one night, cry all night long. Go to sleep, wake up the next morning, all of a sudden you get up and walk around, you look around, you think, you'll be crying again. Because what somebody said or did. Or it could be some other reason. But yet, we want to do that because like worry, it don't bring on nothing but heart trouble, strokes, diabetes. When you worry, you add more problems to you. So you got to learn how to let things go and let God take over. You know, it's a hard job because you ain't want Ray to take over you and tell you everything to do. I said, you ain't want Ray to take over and tell you everything to do. But he's human. He's not God. You know, some people can help you out, just like y'all want to help Oogie out. But see, some people can't do that. Some people won't do that.
Yeah, but when you work, you create problems. And you pray about the word. And you don't think it stirs up. But every morning you wake up, somewhere to live, clothes, food. You've been rewarded for that.
You've been blessed.
You have no word, beautiful word.
Mm-mm.
That's right. That's what we talked about last Sunday. New compassions every day. You can't use them all up in one day.
Mm-mm.
You get up this morning, you have brand new compassions, brand new favors.
So one thing about it, before you open your eyes, you were breathing air. Now, yes, ma'am.
It says in David's old age, I'm looking at you, Jimmy. How old was David at this time? Do we know?
I'm
Have
not
any
sure.
Speculation.
He was a senior citizen, we know that much. And we're not even sure that David is the author.
Oh,
We
okay.
just attribute this to David.
Okay.
Because most Bibles say anonymous.
Okay.
But David wrote Psalm 70, and Psalm 70 is on the same line as 71.
Okay.
So,
And then
we're not sure.
in the notes there, it says David's desire was still to be used. So even in his old age, he still wanted to be used. And then it says this is the very attitude older members of the church must have to reach the youth of their community.
Yeah.
So we as older generation need to keep teaching the youth, even though it might not sink in today, it might not sink in tomorrow, but in 10 years they'll think back and they'll go,
Yeah.
I heard that somewhere.
That's right.
And then they begin to question. And then they'll come to somebody else and they'll say, do you understand this? And that's why sometimes whenever I have a question, I'm thinking, okay, I need to go to someone else that may know more than I do and not be ashamed of that.
No, don't be ashamed of nothing. And if you got anything to ask, you ask. There's no wrong questions. If you don't have an answer, there's no wrong question.
No, you get it.
And
get it
what you
all
don't
wrong,
wanna
get
know.
on YouTube.
But see, it's just like sitting there with Donnell. When that puppy get through turn up all your shoes and Donnell won't get the puppy out, as soon as the puppy get one of Donnell's shoes, then he'll learn. He'll start moving the puppy out the way then. You know. See, same thing with my wife. I always used to keep my puppies in the house. Would never get my shoes, always got hers. The last ones, she put them outside. Ain't another one coming in here. So the boss at the house has spoken. So she think. But that's where people are. But old people, yeah. And I heard somewhere a long time ago, just because a person get old, as long as they stood up and told the goodness of God, they're not supposed to shut up. As long as they got something to say about God, they're supposed to keep it on going. God didn't quit on us. We don't supposed to quit on God. Just that simple. Any other comments or questions? Yeah, because, I mean, you look at our church now, and there's been a whole lot of people, 80, 90, every 90 and 100. That's who taught us, who brought us up. And now it's our turn. If we don't teach these young people what God says and how to do, what's going to happen to the world? It's already bad enough.
We in bad shape.
Yeah.
There's a song that he gets, it questions who will teach them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like when we don't, then someone else that's not in the Word or with God, beside them, will come and grab them. I'm talking about the devil and Satan and all the things that are out there in the world. That's why they turn to other things.
Yeah. If they're not getting what they need or what they think they need in the church, they walk in that front door out there, go down to the corner. Joe Blow standing there with a pocket of rocks and another pocket full of money.
Right.
And all these gold around their neck. They're going to what they can get. Fast and easy. And don't nobody straighten them out, a lot of them going to end up in jail or dead. Any other questions or comments? But yeah,
Aaron,
yes, sir.
about halfway down there, it says, walking with God is not something we gain overnight. Walking with God is slow but personal understanding and practical knowledge of the Lord. It's a slow process.
Yeah. It's just like a baby. That baby got to sit there, you got to take care of that baby, nurse that baby. That baby go to crawling, then it go to walking. Every time you look, it's falling down. We're the same way. You might, at our age, we still can fall down. But one thing about it, God's there to help pick us up.
We get up.
Yeah, I fall down, but I get up. Ain't like that commercial. I fall and I can't get up. See, that's a whole different thing. That was a joke. But some people will fall, and it depends on how you fall and how you act when you fall. May not be able to get up. You know, it might be the last thing that you do. But yet we have a chance to make a choice. What we're going to listen to and how we're going to react. And that depends how we get up and what we do and where we go when we get up. But it's an everyday process. You know, you can get saved, but salvation is an everyday thing, ain't it, Jimmy?
Every day.
Every day.
Sanctification.
Sanctification.
Yeah. Salvation is one time.
You get it?
Sanctification is every day.
So you got to work at it, just like your job. You go there, get you a good paying job. Oh, this money is good. You stay there for so long, after a while you get tired of doing the same thing. You forgot how good that money was to you. You done got used to it. Mess around, just like the pandemic came through. You better not have a job. Now you got to find something else, or you're going to stay in the house the rest of your life. So things happen. But you got to look from where your help comes from. Who helps you? How you get through it. A pledge to praise and thanksgiving, verses 19 through 21. The righteousness also of God is very high, who has done great things, O God, who is like unto thee. And our righteousness, O God, reached the highest heavens. You have done great things, O God, who is like you. God's done so much, great things. Who is like him? Nobody can do like all three, the Trinity, 3 in 1. So nobody can do anything that they can do. Nobody. You can go to the evangelists on TV, the little pop-up tent prayer sessions or whatever you want to call them. Send them so much money, they send you a prayer cloth. There was a man back here when I was a little boy. He used to have real wavy hair. Used to be on TV. I can't remember what the name was, but he had a prayer cloth. You send him so much money. Reverend Knight. And we've had him right here in Rosehill. Working at the radio station, a lot of people come in and do commercial. They have a tent revival or something up here at the Old Town Square. And so people came back in, they had went to it. They said we didn't went. Yeah, they were going to pray for you and help you. But when you got there, $5 prayer line, $10 prayer line, and the price kept going up depending on what your prayer was. You had to pay them people to pray for you. Now, I can pray. Y'all want to pay me? Come right on. That's right.
They were considered prosperity preachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a special place in hell.
Yeah.
A special place in hell for them.
And they might not even make it there. They might get it before they get there.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that you got going on today. A lot of churches, different places. A lot of them don't even make churches. Like I said, they go around from place to place. You see them on the outside. I remember the first time I saw this man, social services, Stephanie, lying from the back to the front to the street. The man walking round and round. What's wrong with that man? He supposed to been preaching to the people. And you couldn't understand hardly what he was saying, but after a while you knew what he was doing. People went to mumbling. You remember who it was? From Magnolia. I ain't calling no name, I'll talk to you later. But yeah, I mean, you sign that, you go somewhere, you might find people standing on the street corner. They might hold up a sign saying something, or they might have a little portable box down there, speaker with a microphone. You like to see them anywhere now. At one time you were seeing more of them, then you started seeing more homeless people on the corner. People in different stores, especially in Wilmington, they put a rod on their buggies. You got stuff to carry out to your car, you're going to tote it. You can't carry the buggies out the door because people were stealing them. You can go up to Raleigh, right off 401 out there in the corner of I-40, little tent cities. And they're not tents, made out of plastic trash bags. And piles of trash people out there staying. That's what's on the corner now. You don't see nobody trying to tell somebody about God. That song the Williams Brothers made years ago, I'm just a nobody. Trying to tell everybody about Christ. And nobody wants to listen. People say it's just a wino, a drunk or something. They don't want to pay it no mind. Think nobody don't know nothing about Christ. They don't, but they don't want to listen to nobody else. Any comments or questions? Number 20. Thou which hast showed me great and sore troubles, shalt quicken me again, and shalt bring me up again from the depths of the earth. On the right-hand side it says, you have made me see many troubles and calamities. Will revive me again, and from the depths of the earth you will bring me up again. It's that same thing. God has showed us a whole lot of things. Pandemic, wars, still rumors of wars to come, shooting at the presidential candidate, public people, wherever you go, they don't care what they're doing. I mean, but even if something you don't like, certain ways you're supposed to go about it. And you talk about politics, that's one thing that taught me a lot. But Jimmy know about this, being a town commissioner and stuff like that. You only got one vote, but you got people from the town coming at you, people on the board coming at you, the mayor here coming at you. You got all these people trying to get in your ear to tell you how to do this and what to do that. But they don't want you to pray when you open up a town board meeting. You can't even pray nowhere. And then in one state I heard the other day that one guy is making it a law that in one school they're gonna learn biblical subjects. Gonna make it a law. Here you can, if you pray at Wallace Rosehill, you got to stand out around the flagpole. Can't go inside. Then you just have morning prayer at Wallace Rosehill around the flagpole. So that's how much life has changed, or how people have changed. But life really haven't changed. It's just the people in it. Because God is the same. His word will never change. As a basic instruction before leaving earth. Like, look, we got a professor right there. He teaches people in high school, college, or whatever. They got to be taught. But yet, if they don't take that word, what he's teaching, they won't pass that grade. So right back in the same grade, either they could be out on the street somewhere, no education. We have a choice. 21. Thou shalt increase my greatness and comfort me on every side. You will increase my honor and comfort me once again. The more you do what Christ wants you to do, He's going to make things better for us. You know, if you're doing what God wants you to do, people will see it. You don't have to go jumping off every person you see jumping in the face. You need to go talk to God. You need to see God. You know, a lot of people tell me on the streets anywhere, that's what drives them, keep them coming to church. Pushing. They don't want to be pushed and told what to do or how to do. But you live by example. They see what you're doing, and if it's right and good, they see the good things that's happening in your life. Then someone want to come and ask you. Just like the man said, what must I do to be saved? Or any little thing. We had some people come join the church, and before they did, 2 of them come and ask me, I want to know how to get closer to Christ. I said, talk to him. That's what I told him. Just pray and talk to him. When you're ready, come on and join the church. One of them got up and came to join the church that Sunday. I was not here. And so that's the first time anybody had come to me and personally asked me something like that. But then, it's a blessing to be able for someone to look at you and to trust you enough to ask you something. You know, I used to tell my little grandson, Jaden, you can ask me anything you want to know. If I can't answer, I'll find somebody. If I can't find Brother Newkirk, the pastor, you go ask him. Don't take my word for it. The Bible, you go ask somebody else. We were having a dinner one day in there. He would come around the corner. I told him to come and ask me something. Bypassed me, Ray. Went straight to the pastor. So, you know, that's in his mind. But that's what we got to do. Not only with the young people, even some old ones. They don't want to hear what somebody else has to tell them to do. They think they know everything. They want to do everything on their own. You can do everything on your own. Mess up. But if you ain't got Christ, you can't do nothing good. Nothing good's going to come up. Are there any other questions or comments? Nobody? Yes, ma'am.
Even when we're down and out and on the ground praying, you can still lift your prayer life to God, and even though you don't get that answer right then, you still feel better because you left it there. And like you said earlier, if you have a question, just ask someone. And we, as the older generation, need to be open to the young people coming to us and saying, hey, how does this work or how does that work? And if I don't have the answer, I'm going to go find the answer. There's always others that are more biblical scholars.
Yeah.
And can break it down for the younger people. And there's so many times that you have a question and you're afraid to ask, but don't be afraid to ask.
And you know, some of them don't have to be biblical scholars. It could be an older person that just knows Christ. Know what they've been through, can give you an example of what Christ has done for them. You know, that's the main thing. Just don't be afraid to ask something. Just go. That's the only thing. You know, her son, when he first came and joined the church, it was Adam. I said, now you're going to be a member of the church, I'm going to get you on the male course. And you're going to sing with me. And somebody said, leave that boy alone, you scared him. Next Sunday, he come back, had him a song. So, hey, even if I scared him then, somewhere he went down the road, he come back with a song. We got another one now. A little girl wants to join the choir. She come in with a song yesterday. And can sing. So it's all in what you do with them children. Her granddad there telling her how to pick the song up, what to sing, how to do it. He stood up for a few seconds. He said, that girl gonna be something too. But see, you just don't push the kids or even the adults to the side. You invite them to come in and join Christ. And whatever we're doing, invite them in. Don't lock the door and keep them out. Must have went off. Music playing. But always remember that. Just talk to God and get God in your life. And whatever it is, even in your sleep, you might get some directions. Like the prophets in the old days, they prophesied about this. They had dreams. We have dreams. We might not remember until something has happened and said, seems like I've done this before. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but maybe you saw it in a dream or something. You never know. But you can't never give up. No matter what God does or what people do to you, you remember that God got your back no matter what. So don't quit on God because he don't quit on us. Any other remarks or questions?
Keeps his promise.
That's it. So if nothing else, that's all I got. And I thank y'all for y'all attention.